Hey, what's going on? I am starting this video in southern Iceland. Me and my wife are taking a 5-day road trip around the southern and eastern countryside, then spending a night in Reykjavik before we head home. And we got in after Redeye out of New York at 9:30 Iceland time. We decided we'd start out with a long drive, about 4.5 hours southeast of Reykjavik. We rented a camper van and we will be touring around the countryside. Right now it is 9 p.m. So quick 2-mile hike right out of the campsite that we're staying at is Skogafur Falls. You can see it off in the distance there. That's where we're hiking to. That's awesome! So we're in an area near the popular Diamond Beach. This is called Skogafur, I think is how you say it. Anyway, these are all chunks of ice that have broken off that glacier way back in the distance. That's like 25 kilometers away. They just float here. But this trough's like, I just read the sign, this is how I know this, but it's like 200 to 300 meters deep, and it flows under that bridge and out to the ocean. So this is Diamond Beach. They call it that because of all the glacial ice that washes up on shore. Oh, did you see that? There's some sea otters playing in the water right there. Anyway, yeah, this is Diamond Beach, but yeah, the ice comes from the glacier out into the ocean. After Diamond Beach, we drove back west to where we spent the first night. We had a tour booked that took us out onto a glacier. But before that, we took a quick hike that gave us a beautiful overlooked view of this glacier. At this point, we didn't realize that the fuel line in our van had ruptured and we were actually leaking diesel. We'd realized it once we got to the parking lot of our glacier tour. We got in touch with the camper van company and they said that they would send out a new van on a tow truck. The problem was, we were 5 hours away from their home base. We asked if it would be okay if we still went on the tour, and that killed 3 hours of the wait time.
Both with ice, but also the mountain we're coming up on.
We're on top of a glacier. I just don't know how to say the name of it. Maybe I'll pop it up on the screen. We're walking inside of a crevasse. You can see the ice is super blue. We had plans to keep driving east after our tour and stay near the town of Hop, but due to the breakdown, we ended up staying 2 nights at Skogafur. We were a little bummed out, but at least we got an upgraded van and we could take our time driving to catch the ferry to Westman Islands. So we drove through some pretty crazy weather and wind to get to the ferry to the Westman Islands. We're excited to check this place out. Hopefully it's not too windy or rainy over there. We've just been rolling with the punches so far. Just under 4,500 people live on the Westman Islands in this quaint fishing town. In 1973, the Eldfell volcano erupted, nearly wiping out the town, and we decided to hike it. I'm sure there are better days and worse days to hike the Eldfell volcano on the Westman Islands, but this is the only day we're here, so we're gonna hike it. It's only like 1.8 kilometers. I don't know what that converts to in miles off the top of my head. Maybe a mile, right? Anyway, we'll see ya at the top. It's super windy. Here we are at the summit. Headed back down. Way too windy. You can't see anything. Even though the weather was horrible, this was one of my favorite stops, and I hope to go back someday. We only had about 4 hours on the island, so we got some food at Crane, which I highly recommend, saw some puffins, and drove around a bit more before heading back to the mainland. So we got off the ferry at Westman Islands and drove about a half hour, and this is where we're camping. That's Skogafur. And tomorrow we'll hike up there. It's a short hike. Check out the falls, hit the road. But for now, we are beat and we're going to bed. We're starting to hike up to the top of Skogafur after a nice, restful evening.
That's so pretty because it's the chills, not just because it's cold. Now we're going to make our way down to Black Beach and check out this awesome sea cave and the columns of cooling basalt that take place. So this area is notorious for rogue waves. Right now it's like a medium risk, but there's some gnarly shore breaks over there. Pretty sketchy. We're gonna keep our distance. Okay, so if you're gonna come to the black sand beach, I would say skip the touristy side. We did have to pay about $9 just to park there for a few hours, and come through the town of Vik and just follow the signs to the black sand beach, and you get it all to yourself pretty much. And back there is the cool town of Vik, but you get these amazing views. This is Root Cellar Cave, and it's totally worth a 5-minute stop off the side of the highway on your way to other notable attractions in the area. In the front of the cave is a newly renovated sheep pen to give you an idea of what life would have been like centuries ago. However, they say this cave predates the Norsemen that settled Iceland and was actually first inhabited by Irish monks. As you can see, day 4 was packed with a ton of different activities. One place that was on my list of things to see was the oldest public swimming pool in Iceland. After a short hike, you're greeted with room temperature water in not the most cleanest pool I've been in, but you can't beat the setting, and the fact that it's natural makes it all the better. And it wasn't too crowded.
here you can actually walk behind the waterfall. That's what we're gonna do. Just a short distance from Seljalandsfoss is another waterfall that pours down through a hole in the rock and out this short cave. I probably didn't get much video of it just because of how wet it was in there, but here are a few still shots that I took. There's a famous plane wreck in Iceland along the southern coast, made famous by many Instagrammers and YouTubers, and you park alongside the main highway 1 and take a 30-minute hike out to the plane. This is not that plane. I don't think a lot of people know this, but there's actually a second DC-3 wreck that you can observe. Now, the caveat to this one is it actually didn't crash here. It crashed way up north. And I read the sign, so all my information came from the sign. And it said that it was becoming a tourist destination where it was, and it was disturbing the animals that actually used it for shelter during the winter months. And also, kids used to play on it too. So they decided to move it to a place for people to enjoy. It's a United States Navy DC-3. So we're at the top of Redeye Valley. I'll put it up on the screen. But basically this is a valley full of hot springs. Hot springs! The ones down below seemed a little bit too hot. We're doing like this sunset hike. We made it to the swimming hole. Actually, it's not much swimming. It's more soaking. Day 5 consisted of seeing all the main attractions along the Golden Circle. If you're not familiar with what the Golden Circle is, it's the scenic route between 3 beautiful natural attractions in Iceland: Thingvellir National Park, Geyser Geothermal Area, and Gullfoss Waterfalls. I dare say that this is where you're going to find most of your touristy attractions, which is why we opted to head southeast to start our trip. Although we enjoyed what we saw along the Golden Circle, we were pretty happy with our decision to experience some of the more rural areas of Iceland. We ended day 5 with a little luxury at the Sky Lagoon. Our final full day in Iceland found us in Reykjavik. Iceland's capital city of just around 300,000 people has some amazing architecture and is very quaint. And of course you can't visit Reykjavik without visiting Hallgrímskirkja, this beautiful church in which the architecture pays tribute to Iceland's volcanic geologic features. We had just started enjoying the interior when all of a sudden, we spent the rest of our limited afternoon wandering around downtown Reykjavik, enjoying all the different colorful homes and businesses and shops. And of course, what would be a visit to Iceland without experiencing one of their world-famous hot dogs? It was a wonderful way to end the trip. And now it is raining in Reykjavik. Our flight leaves tomorrow, but I'm going to end it here. Hopefully you liked this video. If you did, you know what to do. Hit that thumbs up button. Leave a comment down below. Have you ever been here? Would you come here? And of course, while you're down there, hit that subscribe button. Have a great rest of your day.